Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I thought I would go over some of my favorite vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online right now. So these are vehicles that I just like to drive around, vehicles that are pretty new that I'm very impressed with, and vehicles that I feel like are a little bit underrated. Overall, my 10 favorite vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online currently. Alright, in the last video you guys destroyed the like goal, so I'm going to move it up today. Can we get 3,000 likes on this video for the boys? Let's see if we can do it, boys. Let's go ahead and get it started with number 10. Alright guys, so to get things started we have the Annis Remus coming in at $1,027,500 if you have the trade price, all the way up to $1,370,000 if you don't have the trade price. Now the Annis Remus is actually a pretty cool car, and it actually got a new feature added to it with the Chop Shop DLC, which is pretty sweet. Now it's got a lot of customization. It is based off of a Nissan Silvia S13, and with the modifications that you can do, you can definitely make it look really cool. There's a lot of customization because it is a Tuners DLC vehicle, and all of the cars that got released with that DLC all had a lot of things that you could do to them. I made a really clean one recently, which you guys are seeing here in the background. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it's a very easy car to turn into something that looks good. I think it's hard to have a bad Remus customization. With that being said, I do think a stock Remus is a pretty hideous car, but with the modifications you can do in GTA, they can definitely look a lot cooler. And of course, the Annis Remus has also had drift modification tuning added to it with the Chop Shop DLC, which was really cool. So now you can slide this thing around really easily, and it's a blast. I absolutely love it. Anyway guys, that's it for the Annis Remus at number 10. Let's talk about number 9. And at number 9 we have the Vapid Dominator GT coming in at $2,195,000 from the Chop Shop DLC. It's based off of one of the newer generation Mustangs, specifically 2018 to 2023 model years. That's what everybody's saying, at least, and I agree with it. The front end really looks like that. It also has some really cool modifications though. It has like the GT500 rear spoiler that you can put on it. The only thing that I really have a problem with about this car is of course the soft top convertible. I do not like that. I wish that they just gave us a coupe version of this vehicle that doesn't have, you know, a convertible roof or anything like that. I think that would have been a lot better. I think a lot more people would have probably been interested if it was just a coupe instead of the convertible. But anyways, it is still a cool car. It does have some pretty good performance. The customization is really nice. Overall, it is a decent vehicle. Next up, we have a bit of an older car. This is the Imponte Ruiner 2000 coming in at $2,812,500 all the way up to $3.75 million. This thing came out a very long time ago, and I just recently customized it for the first time ever, which was really cool. And then I used it in a manhunt, and it was super fun. Now, it might not be as fun for you guys if you're not using it in the setting that like I was using it in, where you've got 3 people chasing you and trying to take you out with it, but it is a lot of fun regardless. Being that you can jump up in the air and then deploy the parachute, I think that's sweet. It also has the missiles and the machine guns, which is extra cool as well. Unfortunately, with the actual customization that the car has, there's not a whole lot that you can like really modify about the vehicle like cosmetically, but I think it looks cool enough regardless. So anyways, it's a really cool vehicle. It's definitely one that I would recommend looking into for sure. Next up at number 7, we have the Pagani Osiris coming in at $1,950,000 based off the Pagani Huayra in real life, which is a very cool car, and it grows on me every single day. I like that thing a lot. I used this in a Top Gear challenge that NPC and Twingo and I do a few months ago, and I made a really clean customization, at least in my opinion. I think it's one of the better looking Osiris that I've ever seen, myself at least. Maybe I'm personally biased, but I was also really impressed with the overall performance of this thing. For it being a vehicle that came out in like 2016, it actually holds up pretty well. It is all-wheel drive, which does help, especially with the launch, and it does have, you know, a spoiler option that you can put onto it to get that additional downforce and everything like that. But overall, I was really impressed with this car. I forgot just how good it is. I think it's a pretty sweet one. It is definitely one that I would recommend looking into if you guys are looking for an older supercar that still puts up pretty good numbers and that is generally good looking as well. So that's it for the Osiris at number 7. Let's talk about number 6. And at number 6, we have the Ubermacht Cypher coming in at $1,162,500 all the way up to $1,550,000 if you don't have the trade price. The Cypher is another Tuners DLC car, and it's one that I've been using a lot lately. I prefer to use this vehicle in Tuners DLC races over things like the Vector and stuff like that, because I feel like the driving experience with the Cypher is just a lot better. The customization is also absolutely insane because, like I said, it's a Tuners DLC car. So it got all that additional customization that a lot of the cars from that DLC got. It drives really, really well. The handling is like perfect. The acceleration is like perfect as well. Obviously, it could be a little faster and that would be preferable, but it's pretty insane to begin with. And if you stance it, the acceleration becomes insane. Like on the drag strip, this thing just takes off. Very cool car, very good looking vehicle as well. Definitely one that I would recommend looking into if you don't have one already somehow. At number 5, we have the MADISON Monstrosity coming in at $1,485,000. This thing is an Omani Tech capable vehicle actually, so you can put a missile lock-on jammer on it. Now unfortunately you can't do anything else to make it more Omani Tech like armor plating or an oil slick proximity mine dropper. But regardless of that, it is still a very cool vehicle. The customization is awesome, and my favorite part of this whole vehicle is the turning radius of it. You can turn this thing on a dime, and just like, it's so crazy how responsive this vehicle actually is to turning and everything like that. Its acceleration is pretty good, but its top speed is a little lower because obviously it's a tiny little MADISON Monstrosity. It's not supposed to be a really top speed oriented vehicle. It's pretty fun though regardless, and it is definitely one that I would recommend looking into. And next up at number 4, we have the Ubermarkt Sentinel Classic Wide Body coming in at $650,000 plus $700,000 for the upgrade. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but it is a Benny's customizable vehicle, so obviously with that you are getting a ton of customization that you can do to it and a wide body kit beyond that as well. The car's performance is not that great, to be completely honest, but I absolutely love how the vehicle looks, and it is definitely a very underrated vehicle in my opinion. Definitely something that you guys should look into if you've never done it before. This car is super sick. I think just for how it looks sitting on the street is worth the price tag alone. It is a little on the expensive side, but I would say it is 100% worth it. Definitely look into this thing if you guys are interested in getting something a little bit older, but with a lot of customization that looks really sweet. Next up at number 3, we have the Fathom FR36 coming in at $1,610,000. This is a brand new Chop Shop DLC vehicle, and it is the only brand new vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online that can get that drift tuning modification that I was talking about when I mentioned the Annis Remus earlier on in this video. The Fathom FR36 is a pretty sweet car. It's based off of the Infiniti G35 in real life. I drive a G37 in real life, which is like the next evolution of the car. Slightly better looking in my opinion, which is why I got that one. But regardless of that, it is pretty cool to see this car in game because it's close to what I actually drive in real life, or one of my cars in real life. Overall, it is a very cool vehicle. With the drift tuning modification, it makes it extra cool as well. But I do think some of the customization options that they added for this thing are very authentic to a G35, and I think that Rockstar actually knocked it out of the park with the customization options that you can choose to put on this vehicle in the game. I think it's a pretty sweet car. I think it performs pretty well. From what I've heard, it's one of the fastest coupes in the entire game now. So that is another bonus to the Fathom FR36. Anyway guys, that's it for the Fathom at number 3. Let's talk about number 2. And at number 2 we have the Grotti Turismo Omaggio, the brand new supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online that was added with the Chop Shop DLC. It's $2,845,000 if you want to purchase it. There's no trade price available, sadly, but I do think that it is a pretty fair price considering what you are getting. This has to be one of the fastest new supercars in the game. I took it into a stunt race the other day and it actually was doing really good. The turn-in response of the vehicle is just insane. The handling overall is very impressive. Honestly, the acceleration and particularly the launch for being a rear-wheel drive car is very good as well. Top speed wise, it's about average. I wouldn't say it's anything too special, but the customization is definitely really awesome with this car. I honestly feel like this car looks so phenomenal without even customizing it. You know, it's like a 9 out of 10, and then with the customization options that Rockstar gave us for the vehicle, it just puts it that one extra point ahead to being a full 10 out of 10 supercar. I think it's absolutely awesome. It's definitely one that I would recommend, and it does have the Omani Tech missile lock-on jammer that you can put on it as well. Unfortunately, it cannot take any sort of rockets. I did a test the other day and it died in 1 RPG, which was very sad, but regardless of that, the missile lock-on jammer is pretty clutch if you ask me. And of course, my #1 favorite vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online, new with the Chop Shop DLC, is the Vapid Stanier LE Cruiser. This thing is so damn cool, man. It goes for $3,517,500 if you have the trade price, and $4,690,000 if you don't have the trade price, which is, it is very, very extremely overpriced. Do not get me wrong. But as far as fun goes, and as far as just the coolness of it, and being able to finally own a police car after 10 years, I feel like it is so worth it. For that reason, it has to be my #1 favorite vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online right now. I've been driving this thing a lot ever since it came out. The customization's super tight on the LE Cruiser because you can change the department that the vehicle is. You can change up the liveries. You can go like Paleto Bay PD, Blaine County PD, Sheriff's Office, Highway Patrol, like so much that you can do to it. You can also change the equipment that the police cruiser has. You can change the light bar on it. You can change the bull bar on it. Like, the customization other than that isn't too insane, but having the ability to change up all of those things is pretty sweet. It is definitely something that I would recommend looking into if you got the money for it. 100%. It is so much fun. Anyway guys, that's it for my top 10 favorite vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online right now after the release of the Chop Shop DLC without getting all the drip feed just yet. So we'll see if my list changes in the next few months here. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Hey, yes.